We could pick up a little Rubens or something and make an excuse.
Not necessarily.
But we won't have the coins.
I suppose you're right. Well, come along, Oliver. I'm sure Mr. Banachek and Miss Clark have quite a busy evening ahead of them.
Just as we do.
You must stop talking to me as if I was some kind of a footman.
Oh, shut up.
You must realize that I'm 47 years old now, Roland. I will not be
Why
talked
don't
to
you
that
act
way.
your age, Oliver?
Well, do we have a busy evening ahead of us?
No. A quiet dinner, a bottle of sherry, romantic music, and stimulating conversation.
That sounds wonderful. But haven't you left something out?
Well, what have I left out?
I don't know. Why don't we head straight to your place and try to figure it out?
No. We'll head straight for my house and try to figure it out.
In this week's 999 special, a World War II bomb that lay dormant for half a century.
Something totally new that I'd never ever come across.
Trapped under gallons of muddy water beneath one of London's biggest gasworks.
It's a question of literally closing my eyes because my eyes are no use at all.
The bravery of an army disposal squad prevented a dangerous situation from becoming a disaster. The Lonely Walk, a 999 special, tonight at 9:30 on BBC One.
There's something for everyone this Sunday night on BBC One. Sir Harry Seacombe joins the people of Dumfries at 6:30 in a toast to Robbie Burns. And the Antiques Roadshow discloses the true value of some cherished items. There's a series of garden thefts at 7:50. Crab investigates in true style.
Oh, let's go back to base and have some decent coffee, eh?
At 9, new drama.
Tell me who that woman is.
In a mugs game.
He's watching Kathy. That isn't a Rottweiler up there. It's a lovesick puppy dog.
Oh, mercy, don't you?
At 5 to 10, Ruby Wax meets Imelda Marcos in a new series of spectacular interviews. And Everyman investigates the controversial Christian channel Europe at 10:45. That's Sunday night on BBC One.
Richard Griffiths talks about freedom, art and indiscretion in the new Radio Times, which also contains listings for all television and major satellite channels. Brains into gear now on BBC One for general knowledge agility in Timekeepers.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Oh, it's all getting very exciting now because this is the last chance for a new face to appear on the Master Clock before, of course, we launch into the quarter-finals. And talking of the Master Clock, let's have a look at it. There's Russ Shaw at the top, and there at the bottom is Jason Killip. Now, Jason, I want a quick word with you before we start. Keep your bag packed because you could still be joining us for those quarter-finals. It all depends on these three, so let's meet them. First of all, John, hello. Thank you very much for joining us. Where are you from?
I've come over from Nottingham today. I'm married to Linda. I have two children, Amy and Martin, and it was exactly 1 month ago today that I was having a good time celebrating my big 5-0.
Congratulations. Well, let's hope you've got something else to celebrate today.
Thank you.
We'll wait and see. Hello. Now, Gwyn, you're from where?
I'm from Peterborough, Bill. I'm married, got two grown-up children, Michael and Joanne. I've been married for 23 years. I've known my husband, Chris, for 23 years and 1 month.
1 month?
1 month.
So you made your decision within 1 month?
We did.
Well, you're very good at making quick decisions. Let's hope you're on form today. Good luck to you, Gwyn.
Thank you.
And Bob, where are you from?
I'm from Stoke-on-Trent. I'm married to Julie. We've got two small boys, Alexander and Christian.
And I understand that you enjoy a drop of wine. You're a wine buff.
Well, I wouldn't say I was a wine buff, I just enjoy it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to say I can only offer you a cup of tea at the end of the show. But anyway, I hope you enjoy Timekeepers, because let's play! Now, I know you're very, very familiar with the rules, but let me just remind you, all begin with 5 minutes on your clock, and you have to hold on to that time over the next 4 rounds. And the contestant with the most time remaining on their clock will be joining me for the March Against Time challenge. How do you lose time? Well, wrong answers or a failure to buzz in will cost you 10 seconds. Let's start right away with the word clock, and here it is. There's the clock face. We need the words, and there they are. And it's the word combinations which will make up the answers to the questions I'll give you in a moment. And then what you have to do, and this is the difficult bit, is convert the answer into time with the hours first, followed by the minutes. So just to make it absolutely clear what I'm talking about, here's an example for you. Found set in a gold ring. The answer from this clock would be 6 o'clock. Gemstone. And there we have gems and tone put together, giving us the correct answer. Just to remind you, if you buzz in, I need the answer straight away. If you don't give it to me straight away, you're going to hear the sound. It means you've hesitated, it means you lose 10, and it can be handed to the next contestant. Off we go, fingers on your buzzers. Good luck. Shared faults may lead to your being this with a shared brush. John.
8:15.
Correct. Tarred. That's not immediately obvious, is it? Tar and red together giving us tarred. 8:15. A captain isn't supposed to abandon the Bob?
5:05.
Correct. Sinking at 5:05. This herb is a popular garnish. Gwyn.
4:10.
Correct. Parsley. We've heard from all of you now. These trousers were the very opposite of bell-bottoms. Well, after much staring, you're all out of time. But Gwyn, were you going to say 11:15 by any chance? Bad luck, you're out of time. The answer was tapered at 11:15. Next strain could be a result of this burden. Next strain could be a result of this burden. Ah, 7 o'clock. Millstone. Millstone round your neck. Singing in the street, probably for a pittance. John.
10:05.
10:05. Busking is correct. Right, let's lose those words now. And we'll change the clock face. And a new set of words for you coming up. Off we go. Caught red-handed. John.
7:15.
Correct. Nabbed at 7:15. Wife or husband of royalty. John.
11:25.
Correct. Consort at 11:25. John doing very well now. Out of control. Bob.
8:05.
Correct. Haywire at 8:05. Experienced and trusted advisor.
4:10.
Yes, John. Mentor at 4:10. Aromatic seed used in baking and cooking. Bob.
10 o'clock.
Oh, I'm sorry. They regard that as a hesitation, or that unpleasant creature on the buzzer upstairs. So it's open to John or Gwen. Gwen?
10 o'clock.
Correct. Oh, I think I can accept that. Can I not? Yes, I can. 10 o'clock. Caraway. Use it for weight training. Use it for weight... Yes, Bob?
9:30.
9:30. Barbell. Yeah, well done, well spotted. And that brings us to the end of the very first round. Let's look at those all-important scores. We see that Gwyn has 3 minutes and 20. Just ahead by 10 seconds is Bob with 3 minutes and 30. And John, he's got 3 minutes and 50. Right answers in this next round mean that you're out for the next question, which is really good news for you because you can save some time here. Wrong answers or a failure to buzz in will, of course, as usual, cost you 10 seconds. Fingers on your buzzers. 12 questions for you. Here we go. Flock, skein and gaggle are used to describe groups of geese, but goose green is the second largest settlement... John?
Falklands.
Correct. So you can relax now. Gwyn and Bob, this is your question. In America, which famous native of Virginia wrote The Pit and the Pendulum? Bob?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Correct. Which perennial plant of the nightshade family has a root resembling the human form? Yes, John?
Mandrake.
Correct, yes. Well remembered. Bob, welcome back. Windsor, surgeons and reef are all types of knot. But when you get out of a tricky situation by a decisive step, you're said to cut which knot? Yes, Bob?
The Gordian knot.
Yes. Which former American president once advertised cigarettes? John?
Gerald Ford.
No, so Gwyn?
Reagan?
Yes, Ronald Reagan is right. Gulliver's Travels and A Tale of a Tub were the work of Jonathan Swift. But in rhyme, what were the occupations of the three men in a tub? Bob?
Butcher, baker and candlestick maker.
Correct. Let's look at those scores now. As Bob gets the right answer there, we can see that Gwyn has 2 minutes and 40, Bob has 3 minutes and 20, and just ahead, but only by 10 seconds, is John with 3 minutes and 30. Barbara Hepworth, Auguste Rodin and Henry Moore achieved fame as sculptors. But chiseller Rolf Ernest Gorst was portrayed by Nigel Havers in which 1987 TV drama? Both Gwyn and John lose 10 seconds. The answer's The Charmer. And so you're all now back in play. In 1950, which innocent man was hanged for murders committed by Reginald Christie? Yes, Bob?
Timothy Evans.
Correct. Name the civil servant prosecuted for revealing secret information about the sinking of the Argentinian ship. John?
Ponting.
Yes, Clive Ponting. 3 questions to go now. When footballing brothers Jack and Bobby Charlton retired in 1973, which football teams were they playing for? Bob?
Manchester United and Leeds United.
Correct. The Amoco Cadets, Exxon Valdez and Othello have all been responsible for oil spills at sea. But Shakespeare's Othello was set on which Mediterranean island? Gwyn?
Cyprus?
Correct. Final question now. Played with pencil and paper, the American game tic-tac-toe... Yes, John?
Noughts and crosses.
That's not the answer I'm looking for, so I'll have to complete the answer, John, as you lose 10 seconds. Complete the question, I should say. Tic-tac-toe is known in the UK as noughts and crosses, but which system of mathematics uses the digits 0 and 1? Bob?
Binary.
Correct, Bob. That was all yours, of course. You got it right. Well done. Saving time there. That brings us to the end of round 2, and let's look at those scores now. Gwyn has 2 minutes. John, 2 minutes and 50. Bob is in the lead now with 3 minutes and 20. Well, you all did very well with the word clock in the first round, but this one, well, this is nearly 10 times as hard, because look at this. It's the 24-hour word clock, and there it is. Let me give you an example. If I was to say the bell ringer of Notre Dame was this, the answer from the 24-hour clock would be 23:25 Hunchback. And when you respond, will you give me the time first, followed by the word combination? And if we look at all the numbers, they refer to the hours on the 24-hour clock. But if the minute hand is on the 5 or 17, it will, of course, read 25. Now, let's read those scores now, shall we? And I can see that Gwyn has 2 minutes. And so, Gwyn, that means that you're our trailer at the moment. But there's a chance for you to catch up, because I'm going to give you 2 minutes in which to answer 6 questions, and the time remaining after you completed those 6 questions can then be added to your 2 minutes. So good luck with this. Wrong answers or a pass will cost you 10 seconds. Time will start as soon as I've asked you the first question. So relax, and here we go. It's not unusual for this Welshman to sing.
Tom Jones, that's 11:05, Tom Jones.
It's a 24-hour clock, so it's 23:05. Bad luck, Tom Jones, the man. It's not unusual for this Welshman to sing. They were Harpo, Zeppo, Chico and Groucho.
Oh, Marx Brothers. 125, Marx Brothers.
Correct. Fictional American girl detective whose father is a former district attorney.
12:15, Nancy Drew.
Correct. Blade Runner director.
Pass.
You pass on Blade Runner director. The answer's 1800, Ridley Scott. The group of youthful Hollywood up-and-comers of the mid-1980s.
Brat Pack. That's 21:15, Brat Pack.
Correct. Kent Resort, famed for its oyster beds. Do you want to pass?
Yes, please.
You pass on Kent Resort, famed for its oyster beds. The answer's 225, Whitstable. Stop the clock. Gwyn, you have 14 seconds. Yeah, you've got some time remaining, so I'll add that now to your clock, and that gives you 2 minutes and 14. It's now the turn of John. Your time will start as soon as I've asked you the first question. Don't thank me until you've finished. Good luck. A place of refuge or rendezvous for spies.
2030 safe house.
Correct. During the 1980s, many new young comedians claimed to be this.
705.
Giving us...
Alternative.
Correct. Bay in the Indian Ocean, subject to dramatic monsoons.
910. Bengal.
Correct. Nicole, who starred with husband Tom Cruise in Far and Away.
$12.05. Kidman.
Correct. Courteous knight who was destined to retrieve the Holy Grail.
$23.15. Galahad.
Correct.
Galahad.
Mountain range northeast of the sea of showers on the moon. Do you want to pass or take it?
Yes, I have. Nice.
Pass on mountain range northeast of the sea of the showers on the moon. The answer is 1910. Lunar Alps. Stop the clock. Oh, John, you were doing really well there, and that last one obviously cost you a few seconds. 28 seconds, though, I can add to your time, and that now gives you 3 minutes and 18. Now, before we see Bob's clock, let me just remind you that you've got a chance at home to do a bit of staring and muttering. Yeah, because there'll be a question for you on it after we've heard from Bob. Your 2 minutes will start as soon as I've asked you the first question, Bob. Here we go. Giles Gilbert Scott designed this now powerless station and London landmark.
Battersea at 23:25. Battersea.
Correct. Carrying coals to here is acknowledged as a useless activity.
100 hours Newcastle.
Correct. Cuban bandleader, husband of Lucille Ball.
Desi 2200 hours. Desi Arnaz.
Correct. Central African country bordered by Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, and the Congo, which with rich reserves of uranium. With rich reserves of uranium. Do you want to pass?
Gabon 2120.
Correct. Evil in War, social satire.
Pass.
You pass on Evil in War, social satire. The answer is 705, Vile Bodies. Final question. Rowena and Rebecca both love this hero of Walter Scott's novel of the Crusades.
Ivanhoe 1415.
Giving us...
Ivanhoe.
Correct. Stop the clock. Bob, the best performance. You've got 44 seconds. And we're going to add that now to your time, and that gives you 4 minutes and 4. Let's look at all those scores now. Gwyn has 2 minutes and 14, John 3 minutes and 18, and our leader is Bob with 4 minutes and 4. As promised, it's your turn now. Let's look at Bob's clock, and there it is. Your question is, Arthur Askey said hello to them. Is it A, 5:25, B, 8:30, or C, 17:40? If you think you know the answer, the number to phone is 0891 114499. The lines are open until midnight tonight, and the winner will be drawn at random from the correct entries and receive this digital personal organiser. The 5 runners-up will each receive the prize Timekeepers watch. The question for you once again is this. Arthur Askey said hello to them. Is it A, 5:25, B, 8:30, or C, 17:40? And the best of luck to you. Well, when today's winner joins me for the March Against Time challenge, they'll be competing for a place in the grand final, which is this time next week. And the big prize on offer has been specially chosen for us by Richard Price from the Antiques Roadshow. And he's an expert on watches and clocks. And Richard's here to tell us more about it. Richard.
Thanks, Bill. Well, the winner of the grand final of Timekeepers is going to get this superb French carriage clock, very much in the English style. I must admit, I'm very jealous. The date, about 1875. Superb quality throughout. The Fusian chain here is a sort of constant speed drive, and we have on the back plate the factory stamp of RED. I think the clock should be insured for about 2,200, and may I wish all the competitors the very best of luck.
Well, Gwyn, you're trailing at the moment, but I tell you, there is every chance for you to catch up. And Bob, you've got to be very, very careful now to hold on to your time. Each correct answer you get, well, of course, 10 seconds can be stolen away from your opponent's clock and added to your own. So this is a time in the quiz where we really don't know who's going to win. And believe you me, it is very unpredictable. Fingers on your buzzers, off we go. Which king of 10th century Bohemia became the subject of a... Yes, Bob?
Wenceslas.
Correct, 10 from.
John, please.
In 1995, after being named in a payoff scandal involving European Airbus, which former Canadian Prime Minister filed a 23... John?
Pierre Trudeau.
No, Brian Mulroney is the answer, so lose 10. Who are Trog, Jack and Giles? John?
They're cartoonists.
Correct, so 10 from?
Bob.
Bob, yes. Where is the Great Sandy Desert? Bob?
Australia.
Correct, 10 from?
John.
Interesting Times and The Colour of Magic are among the novels of which fantasy writer? You'll lose 10. Terry Pratchett. What does Mahatma, as in Mahatma Gandhi, mean? John?
Sacred leader.
No, great lord, so you lose 10. Which J.M. Barrie book has the opening line, all children expect not... Bob?
Peter Pan.
Correct, 10 from.
John, please.
What was the name of the brother of Sherlock Holmes? John?
Mycroft.
Correct, 10 from.
Bob.
In aviation, what do the initials VTOL represent? Bob?
Vertical takeoff and landing.
Correct, 10 from.
John.
Who is governor of the Bank of England? John?
Eddie George.
Correct, 10 from.
Bob.
In jazz music, who was Bird? Bob?
Charlie Parker.
Correct, 10 from.
John.
The spy novelist David Cornwell is better known by what name? Bob?
John le Carré.
Correct, 10 from.
John.
Give Gwyn a chance, will you? In 1961, which football club became the first this century to win the... Yes, Bob.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Correct, 10 from.
John.
What is the popular term for a public relations expert whose job is to present unpopular political policies in the most favourite... Bob?
Spin doctor.
Correct, 10 from.
John.
Which 60s LSD advocate said turn on... Bob?
Timothy Leary.
Correct, 10 from.
Gwyn.
The old vicarage at Grantchester, one-time resident... Yes, John.
Jeffrey Archer.
Correct, 10 from.
Bob.
What is the name of the notoriously dangerous whirlpool between the Lofoten Islands? Bob?
Maelstrom.
Correct, 10 from.
John.
What does a pluviometer measure? Bob?
Rainfall.
Correct, 10 from.
John, please.
In heraldry, what term describes a creature rearing on the left hind leg? John?
Rampant.
Correct, 10 from.
Bob.
Of course, in America, who was vice president during the George Bush administration? Bob?
Dan Quayle.
Correct, 10 from.
John, please.
In 1845, a drunken visitor to the British Museum accidentally smashed which? Bob?
The Portland vase.
Correct, 10 from.
John, please.
On radio, Family Favourites presenter Gene Metcalfe married which other presenter? Bob?
Cliff Mitchellmore.
Correct, 10 from.
Gwyn, please.
Which port is served by the River Taff? John.
Cardiff.
Correct, 10 from.
Bob.
Quite right. From which range of hills does the River Mersey begin its journey to the sea? John.
Pennines.
Correct, 10 from.
Bob.
Which close relative of the rat and mouse can be distinguished? I was asking the question about the close relative of the rat and mouse that can be distinguished by its blunt snout and tiny ears and short tail. The answer is, of course, the vole. And during that, Bob, it was remarkable. You reached 5 minutes, and at one stage you probably thought, hey, he's not adding any more time on. Well, of course, you can't get any more than 5 minutes in this quiz, but you were certainly taking it away from Gwyn and John. You didn't end with a full 5. You lost several seconds there, of course, and you've ended up with 4 minutes and 40. What a great winner. Well done, Bob. Gwyn and John, what can I say? Gwyn, they sort of left you out a little there. And you knew the answers, didn't you?
Did,
You were buzzing in, but they were just too fast for you. And John, you were making a bit of a comeback, but sadly, not enough time.
That's a good winner.
Yeah, very much so. But you've been very good losers, so Gwyn and John, thank you very much for joining us. You go away with a Timekeepers watch.
Thank you.
Well, at the start of the show, I mentioned Jason, who's at the bottom of the master clock. And Jason, I know you're shaking in your shoes at the moment, because at the end of this round, you'll know whether you'll be joining us for the quarterfinals next week here in Manchester. It all depends, of course, on Bob. So, Bob, join me now for the March Against Time Challenge. Bob, you have 1 minute in which to answer 15 questions. For every correct answer you give me, I'll give you back 10 seconds. And there we go. There's your hourglass. And at the top, we can see the 15 questions, each worth 10 seconds and ready to be tipped into the top of your glass. The position is very straightforward, Bob. I don't want to put pressure on you, but you need to get above 1 minute and 33 to win a place in the quarterfinals. Good luck. Your time will start as soon as I've asked you the first question. Who was appointed National Heritage Secretary in July 1995?
Virginia Bottomley.
Correct. John McCarthy and Jill Morell tell their story in which best-selling book?
Pass.
Some Other Rainbow. Which British driver took the land speed record at 633
Richard
miles an hour?
Noble.
Correct. The alloy bronze is made from which two metals?
Copper and tin.
Correct. in 1986, which cabinet post did Michael Heseltine resign from in
Defence.
protest? Correct. Defence Secretary. The word nylon is derived from an amalgamation of which two capital cities?
New York and London.
Correct. Which poet wrote the line, I wandered lonely as a cloud?
Wordsworth.
Correct. Which band had a 1995 hit album called The Great Escape?
Pass.
Blur. Ralph, Simon and Piggy are all boys in which William Golding novel?
Lord of the Flies.
Correct. The Americans call it a planter's wart, but what did the British call it?
Pass.
A verruca, which organisation is the Muslim equivalent of the Red Cross?
Red Crescent.
Correct. Which month's name means it should be the 8th month?
October.
Correct. To what did the Russian-born American composer Israel Berlin change his name?
Irving Berlin.
Correct. What is the only even prime number?
2.
Correct. John Galliano was appointed to which French fashion house in 1995?
Pass.
Givenchy, stop the clock. Bob, what do you think? You've done it.
Over.
You've done it. 1 minute and 47. Well, I think you better do something quickly before we before we go, and that is apologise to Jason. Go on. He's sitting at home and his tears are welling up now.
I'm sorry, Jason.
Yeah, bad luck. But anyway, you've done very, very well indeed. Congratulations, Bob. So now let's look at the master clock. So, Bob, that puts you into position 7 and, of course, guarantees you a place on our master clock and, of course, for the quarterfinals next week. Well done. Now, we don't know which quarterfinals you'll be joining us for because we haven't done the draw yet. We'll be doing that over the weekend, but we will be seeing you next week. And I hope you'll be seeing us on Monday for the start of a very exciting week here on Timekeepers. Make sure you're on time. Bye-bye.
Earlier, playing their instruments, were able to do so because of you. You brought music to them, and they're here tonight to say thank you to you. And Racklin, this is your life.
Pebble Mill takes over at 2:35 next week, and Michael Aspel will be saying the immortal words, "This is your life," as usual at 7 o'clock next Wednesday evening. At Great Ormond Street Hospital, 3-year-old Daisy has suspected meningitis. The medical team must act quickly.
For the first few hours, they're very unstable.
Her parents are naturally concerned.
It was fine at 7 o'clock last night. You wouldn't believe that something could happen so quick and be so drastic.
The team from Intensive Care back in action. Great Ormond Street, Tuesday at 8 on BBC One. Now on BBC One, the pressure's on for the Timekeepers.
And welcome to Timekeepers. It's getting very exciting. We're here at the last of our 4 playoffs to decide which 3 contestants will go through to the grand final tomorrow. Now, on Monday, we invited the 12 finalists to draw lots to see who would be competing against who in these playoffs. And so far, we've seen 9, and 3 of them are on the master clock as winners. So let's have a look at it. Well, there you can see the 4 places, but only 3 names on at the moment. Eric Carden with 1 minute and 4, Hugh Davis with 1 minute and 21, and Russ Shaw with 1 minute and 26. Now, one of our 3 timekeepers this afternoon has got to get above 1 minute and 4 to be sure of securing a place in the grand final tomorrow. So, let's meet them. Ernie, now, you'll all remember Ernie, won't you? Because you're our Bill Beaumont lookalike, and here you are, back in the scrum again for a second try on Timekeepers. Looking forward to it?
Certainly am, Bill. To the playoffs, yes.
Good. Well, the best of luck to you, Ernie. And also we have Steve Hall from Liverpool. Which round in particular, Steve, are you looking forward to?